Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today is the first video in the Bestie Collab series with me and my bestie Beatriz Santana from Bee's Crafty Corner, and I have all her links and her link to her video down below. So let's get started. We're using the same sketch and the same kit, and we're going to show you basically how we each come up with a unique or our own interpretation of the sketch that we're doing. So we're using the kit called Reflection from Alltanew, and I just measured how I wanted my angle to go as far as my top piece. And now, before we got rolling, I had already cut my strip up at the top, and though for them the strip is straight, I wanted to continue with the angle thing. I thought that to me that would be more interesting, so that's why that yellow strip up at the top has a little bit of an angle to it. And then in thinking about this other side, I knew I just needed a little bit of this paper, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want my angle, how deep of a cut or angle I want it to go on. And by doing that, I realized I needed to cut a little bit more off of the pattern paper. So I'm just going to draw a real quick line, because I'm thinking, okay, I like that there, and then if I just trim this down a little bit, I'll be able to see more of the other pattern paper, and it'll line up. So once I draw my lines, it's just lining it up as far as the cutter. And then once I have it lined up, we're going to slice that little strip off. And I could have put it up there, like do like a little layering technique, but I decided not to. And then same thing with this one. And then we're going to play with that. And then that's our cut right there. And then that really is the sketch, right? Because that's all you have is those three cuts, those three papers. You can build up your image right on the center there, have your title, and call it a day. Very simple. So what I decided that I wanted to do, I liked the little bit of mixed media that was behind where the photo is sitting. So of course, I'm just marking where my photo was laying, and I'm going to move our pieces of paper here, and I'm going to put down some clear gesso, but just in really the open area, you know, because I don't have to have it over the entire page, because I'm not doing the entire section. I had thought about using some stencils, and then eventually you'll see here, I just decided that I'm just going to do some regular mixed media and call it a day. Like, keep it simple, you know what I mean? But I got to go through all of them, right? Try and figure out, do I want to stencil? What do I want to do? I also have a stamp set, which I could have used. It has like splatters and, you know, sort of like texture elements or things that you could add. But yeah, there was really nothing that I really wanted to use. And I'm searching and searching, and I'm like, okay, no. I thought I had one from Tim Holtz, and I probably do. It's probably in a container somewhere. We're not going to go into how I store my stencils, but right now it's not working because I can't get to all of them, and it drives me nuts. It's probably the one thing in the craft room that not many people talk about and is annoying as far as storaging. But we're going to continue on. So we're putting down the clear gesso. And like I said, it's mostly in the area right behind where the photo is going to go, and a little bit more to the right and to the left, just in case, because though I tried to contain myself, sometimes stuff just spreads, and you got to be prepared in case it does that, because if the color hits the regular paper, then it's a wrap. You're not going to be able to move it. It's going to just soak in. So that's why I went from edge to edge, but I'm really hoping to kind of keep it more contained. And if you decide to use the sketch for anything, like you could see there's a lot of white space in it. I didn't put a whole lot of white space. For me, I really love the pattern paper and I wanted to use it and be able to see it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why my section is a little bit smaller as far as white space. But you can make it as big or small as you like because there's no measurements on here. You design it yourself, you know? All right, so we're bringing our pieces back real quick. And I was thinking for the color, at first I was thinking more the peachy color. And then I decided, you know what? I have hardly any pink on here. I'm going to put some pink. So I grabbed this Lindsay Magical. I want to say it's called the Ramblin' Rose Pink. Yeah, that looks like it. I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah, because that's the hot pink over there. Yeah, Ramblin' Rose Pink is the one that I wind up using. And I just put a few of the flakes down on some plastic sheeting that I cut up. And then we're just going to smush it down. Trying to keep it, you know, mostly in this area. And all the, like a lot of the darker areas is going to be, you know, pretty much covered up. And what's interesting about Lindsay powders, or if you've ever used the Ken Oliver powders, even Nuvo has some, there's always more than just the one color in the powder mix. So it's pink, but there were some yellow, elements that were peeking up in a few of the spots, you know, so which is perfect because this has yellow on the paper, but it was just, you know, it's one of those things that you don't know until you put it down and add the water, and then you're like, really? There's that color in there? Okay. So we're just gonna help this dry, help it along a little, and if there's any edges or parts that it's a little bit too harsh, you can always add a little bit of water and it'll help kind of smooth it out because these reactivate with water. And then before I put my stuff down, I wanted to do some splatters of this pink, which is a Nuvo mica spray. And that's good. Added a little bit of added texture, a different shade of the pink. And then I'm going to close the lid because I don't know about y'all, but I have a tendency to swing my hand and all of a sudden we have a spill. All right. So as this dries up, I'm going to heat it from the back as well. That's a trick that I got from doing cards over the years. It doesn't stop the warping, but it helps minimize it a little bit. And we can continue on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm using my ATG tape. And we're going to use some art glitter glue as well. All right. And we're going to put some of that down. And then on the one edge, I kept that at the one edge straight. So that way it would line up to the edge. And then to make it easier for me, I just turned it over, and then that way it was easier to line up. And then when we do the other pieces, I can just flip it back. So on this one, I just wanted to trim up this one little edge. It was a little bit like squared at the top, and I wanted more of a sharp point. So we're going to tape this one up, and I've put the top one on just so I can kind of have a good idea of placement as far as this one. And then once I have that kind of in the right spot, then I know I can kind of slip underneath this one and get it in the right spot. And then press down. This sketch is all about cut it and commit. You know what I mean? Like there's no like once you got them all your angles cut and everything's ready to go, just put her down. Once again, more art glitter glue. And for those of you who are just joining us, or this is your first time on my channel, I use the ATG tape and art glitter glue to give me time to be able to pull stuff back up. So if you're someone who's really good at lining things up and you can just put it down in an instant, you do you, boo, okay? Just use the tape, just use the glue, whichever way. But for me, I like the strength of the tape as well as the glue, and it gives me that few seconds where I can pick it back up and not completely destroy my project. So off to the side, I had some tissue paper, and of course it has like sparkles all over it. But what's awesome with this is that the sparkles don't take away. It's just a little bit of something that's behind the photo, without it being like hard cardstock, you know what I mean? Because at first I was gonna see here, put some behind it, and I was just like, no, I just want the softness of the tissue paper. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I've seen other people use it, like Missy Whitten, and she uses it so well, and I try to get it in my mind to use it, so this is my best attempt. But I do like how it's soft. All right, so I was looking around trying to find my fun foam, which I think I put away, and now I've hidden it from myself. So yeah, that's a new project. And then I decided just grab your foam tape, put some on the back. It's going to be a little bit higher than if I used fun foam, but it'll be all right. Okay, so now that I have that, I've already pulled apart some of the chipboard pieces, some of the wooden dots, I guess it would be like buttons almost, because I knew I wanted to use some of those. I had this little speech bubble that I took out that I wanted to use to put my my journaling on, my little bit of journaling, which we'll do. And then what else do I have off to the side here? I have a little chipboard arrow that says "We are here." And I grabbed the other sticker sheet, and what else? I think I wound up grabbing, yes, on here. It's on this one. I couldn't remember. But you know how, the "You are here" little symbols? They had some of those. They had 3 actually. Or I think it might have been 4. But I was like, oh, how perfect. I'll use the arrow, "We are here," and then put the location little symbols right above each of our heads. I'm like, oh, that's so perfect. So those are going to stay there. And then I'm just going to keep looking through and seeing what else I want to use. I'm trying to look at it right here. Okay, yep. And then I decided to use the alphas that came in the kit for the title, which is going to be "Girls Night" with an exclamation. And then I'm going to use the stamp set that came in the kit and just put a little sentiment right underneath it. And I'm just putting these out. And at first, I'm going to tell you on video here, I don't put any glue behind these letters, but a few days later, as I'm doing the voiceover and looking it over, I realize, you know what? I need to glue these down. So I do go back and I wind up gluing them down with the art glitter glue, only because though they are sticky, if your hand hits it a certain way, the letters still moved. So I just wanted to give you guys heads up, okay? If you get thickers or stickers like this and you're using them on your project, gesso or not, put some glue on the back of those letters. All right, so we're going to take our backing off and we're going to start gluing things down. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put down our photo. And now we're going to start gluing things down and giving them their permanent spots. So the tag here I want to put, and then we're going to start doing the "you're here" symbols. Just something, just a little fun. Because I don't know when or how I would use those in anything else. So sometimes doing a layout page, it literally comes down to that. It's like, okay, what else can I use this for? I mean, this isn't the year of travel. This is the year stay at home. So the little "I'm here" symbol, what's that about? So I'm going to use it on this photo and call it a day. Now for the camera, this one is a chipboard piece. So what I'm going to do, so that way it's on the same level as the photo, I'm going to put a piece of phone tape on the bottom and then let it nuzzle right there at the bottom corner, because we were taking a selfie, of course, and it was so funny because we were at the movies, in the middle of the movie. That's why it's so dark. And my friend in the middle decided we had to have a selfie right at that moment, and I was mortified, even though I smiled. But it was a adventure that I definitely will never forget. So that's what I'm actually writing about on the little journal piece, because every time I see that photo, I remember exactly what we were doing. I don't remember the when, like what exactly day or year and that kind of stuff, but I'll just never forget that night. That was funny. And so we're gluing down. I decided to add that button I was going to put up at the top. I moved it down to be right next to the one that says hello, or smile, excuse me. It says smile. And then I went through some more of the wood pieces there. I decided not to use any of the butterflies and the birds and stuff like that. I'll save that for another project, because we do have 3 more videos coming with different sketches. And then of course we'll have the last video, which is going to be a cut file, which is going to be fun. So I found this other chipboard piece. This one says "Let the adventures begin," which is going to be perfect for up at the top for just a little cluster. I mean, they only have a star on the image, and you can do whatever you want with your little clusters, but it just gives you an idea, like, oh, hey, maybe put something up here. So that's what we're going to do. And then in looking at everything, I was kind of like, well, where do I want to put it? To the far right? And I decided, you know what? I'm going to put it right up here, just off center of the photo, and then create the little cluster with this, the button with the flower. And then there's one with a heart inside of it, and we'll use that. And then that part is done. So I was thinking, like, looking through the stuff, trying to see if there was anything else. See, on there, the exclamation point moved on me, and I put some of the art glitter glue. So I should have known then that I should have picked it up and done all the rest of the letters, but I didn't. And I'm just grabbing, there's another little chipboard piece that says "Fun Times." We're going to put that next to the camera, and then that's me stamping the meetup, which was a part of the stamp set that came in the kit. I was going to stamp it again, but I decided not to. I figured that the one stamp was good enough. And then there you go. So there's the close-ups. I love those. And it's super simple and sweet, not too much. I'm not even going to do any additional splatters. I do take it another step, and I put a few sequins on it. And the sequins wasn't a part of the kit. I was trying just to use the kit, but I needed something. If I wasn't going to have splatters, I had to have a little bit of something. So I grabbed 3 different sizes, and I'm going to do 3 clusters of these 3 up here by the sentiment, and then 3 down here by the camera. And we're going to put those down using the art glitter glue. Because the art glitter glue is a really strong glue, and it dries clear. So it's like you don't see any glob of glue with the sequins, which is really nice. And then we're just going to grab our katana and put them down. And there is another side with a pointy tool, but I always wind up using my finger or my nail. You know, you just gotta, you make it work. Make it work with what you got. Sometimes if the sequin is big enough, I'll pick it up in my fingers, put a little glue on the back, and put that sucker down. However I need to make it happen is what you're going to do, because that's what crafters do. Okay, so those are our splatters, our 3 little sequins on the 3 areas, giving us a nice little triangle. I like it. I like how it turned out. I'm really happy. I was struggling at first, but once the decorating part started, I just realized less is more, and it's still a great way to document a fun night, even though at the time I was completely mortified. So thank you guys for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and definitely down in the more section, click on the link, check out Beatrice's video. I know it's going to be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to her, definitely do that, because we are going to get her to 1,000 subscribers this month. I swear, we're going to make it happen. I know this community can make it happen. So you guys click on over, say hello to my friend, and subscribe. All right. And we will see you guys next Tuesday with our next video. Thanks again, and have a great day.